Whoa. 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 Okay. Whoa. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to have to reset the game. What is up, YouTube? I'm going to show you the 5 latest vehicle mods for Subnautica and how they compare to some of the older ones. Plus, we're going to take an in-depth look at one of the most ambitious architect submarines in production right now called the Prototype. All this and more, so let's get started. Let's start off with this one, the Aquaworks Atlantic Explorer. Now, this is a beautiful little submarine here. It looks slightly similar to the Abyss, but it does have some differences. Now, we can get in from the bottom or we can get in from the top. But one thing I really love about this submarine is the fact that you can see all systems online. You can see from the front or the back. It has a nice little viewport on the front and the back. So I thought that was really cool. Instead of having a engine on the back, you have these little fan propellers on the side and the vertical ones as well. Now let's see what we can do in here. All right, so we have a couple of chairs here. I thought that was a really interesting choice. Now they don't really do anything. You can't actually sit in them, but you can just kind of easily walk right by them. And if you are exploring and you want to look down from behind where your vehicle is instead of having to get out, you can kind of look through here and get a nice view of where you're at, what kind of resources might be around you. So let's look around here. Let's see. It has some very large similarities to the Abyss. Let's pilot this thing. Oh wow, look at these controls right here. That is so retro. That looks awesome. I love that. Let's see. Okay, so the vehicle depth is 400, and it seems to be moving at a fairly decent speed. It's not too fast, but it's not really that slow either. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare this to the Abyss, and we're going to see which one is actually better. Now, unfortunately, I'm noticing that I cannot exit the vehicle from the top once I'm already inside, so that's definitely a minor little glitch I'd like to see them fix. So here's a comparison right side by side with the Abyss submarine. Now, as you can tell, the model is very different, and personally, I like this model more. I definitely like the view screen on the back. I like the colors a little bit more, although one could argue that it might be a little bit harder to see if you are in a dark area and you're trying to find your vehicle. This one, you know, I'm not really a big fan of the yellow submarine, but you know, it is a little bit easier to see. I won't deny that. So let's see, what is the big... Now, one of the main differences you're going to notice here is this bar on the front. A lot of people don't like that. It didn't bother me, but with that being in the way of your view screen, a lot of people really did not like this annoying view right here. And so for that reason alone, I definitely think if you don't like that, then the Aquaworks Atlantic Explorer would definitely be more of your choice. Another thing I wanted to compare between the two, so we're inside the Abyss. Now let's say that we want to build something inside of here. Now look at how difficult it is to build. You can technically build something. We got like right there, but we cannot line our walls with blockers. And even building, let's say for example, like a chair, you can, but it can be a little tricky. You don't have enough room for a bed. There's absolutely no room for a bed at all. So now here we are inside the Atlantic Explorer. Now let me show you this. Now there actually is enough room for a bed. Now of course it slightly covers up that exit right there, but you can put a bed in here. You can place chairs, and of course, if you want to line the walls with lockers, you can, and it's so much easier. Now, the only thing about the interior of this one right here is I disagree with the chairs. I feel like if you want to build your own, if the player wanted to build their own chair, they could easily do that. I would highly recommend taking the chairs out because they don't really serve a purpose. The main difference between these two is that the base pressure, the base maximum pressure for the Atlantic Explorer is only 400. Now, for this one, for the Abyss, This one is actually 600. So it can start off, right off the bat, it can go a lot deeper. However, it is a little bit slower. I noticed that the Atlantic Explorer is a little bit faster. So overall, even though there are a few pros and cons for both, I still recommend the Atlantic Explorer because I felt that it was a lot easier to build inside. It was a little bit faster, and there was just a little bit more room on the inside to place a bed if that's what you want to put down. This right here is called the Bayblade. Now this one is still technically in production. You can find it on the Subnautica modding Discord. You will not be able to find it on Nexus Mods or Submodica, but this one looks really awesome, and I'm going to be comparing it to the Seamoth, and the reason for that is, unfortunately, this is not something that you can get inside and walk around and build in. This is... So let's see how fast this one goes. Now, right off the bat, it has 300 depth meters as soon as you build it. So that is 100 higher than the Seamoth. So it definitely has that. So let's see how fast it goes. Okay. Seems to have a fairly decent speed. I would say that this is maybe about the same as the Seamoth. Really not much difference. The maneuverability seems to be roughly about the same. I'm not really seeing that much difference. I think the Seamoth might actually be able to maneuver a little bit better. Let me get a nice comparison here so I can tell. Okay, yes, the Seamoth is obviously a lot more maneuverable. This one you can move around so much easier, and it's still, yeah, it's about the same speed. I'm not gonna say they're any different. So why would you want to build the Bayblade instead? Well, the Bayblade is a little bit bigger, so you're gonna have a hard time maneuvering between tight spaces. However, if I had to take a guess, I would say that this one is probably can take a lot more of a pounding, a lot more of a beating than the Seamoth. And plus, it just looks super cool. I mean, how could you not want a vehicle like this? I mean, it as far as the model goes, this is definitely one of the most awesome looking Architect submarines. But with you not being able to walk around inside of it, that is a major disadvantage compared to some of the other ones. Now this one is called the Amarok. Now I'm going to be comparing it to the Mantis class submarine, and because these are the only two submarines that are similar in style. And personally, I have always preferred the Mantis class submarine. I think it has an extraordinary amount of detail put into the textures. However, it is a little bit cramped, and I'm going to show you what I mean. As you can see, there's not really a whole lot of room to, you can't place down a bed. You can line the walls with lockers if you want to, but there's not a whole lot of room in here, and a lot of people aren't a big fan of the interior with the textures on the glass that you kind of obstructs your view just a little bit. So now for the Amarok. Now this one is a bit longer. I would say at least a good 30 to 40% longer. It looks a lot like a rocket. It is really interesting design. And one thing I really love about this is the glass here on the side that gives you an extra view of your surroundings. So let's go ahead and get inside and see what this is like. How do I get inside of you? What about the... Guys, I seriously can't figure out how to get in this thing. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, it was on the side. Now that's an interesting place to put the entrance. Let's check out this interior. Wow, this is really big. So the glass is nice and clear on the inside. You don't have that green tint to it. Now we've got the, okay, that's the storage capacity over here. Can hold quite a bit. More storage, wow, okay, so it's already got quite a bit of storage. Now this is beautiful right here. And I mean, the glass being right here. Now one thing I was going to say, this is an idea that I had. Wouldn't it be kind of cool if there was an extra layer of glass that kind of went around the side of it, and they actually could duplicate the aquarium module like in Below Zero? Because if you could have fish swimming by here and it collect them as you pilot the vehicle and you're going by, I think that would be awesome. I mean, it would give this a functionality to it, and it would give you extra view of your surroundings. But regardless, it looks really cool, and I do like the ability to see more of my surroundings. Now let's look at the back here. Wow, this is huge. Okay, here's our upgrades. Here's 6 vehicle batteries. And look at all the room back here. Now this looks like a nice, relaxing bedroom. Like, even though it's daytime outside, we could still place a bed in here. Let's see, where, yeah. Right there, okay. Plenty of room to sleep. We can put, let's see, line lockers all over the sides. Plenty of room to build anything that we want. Yeah, plenty of room to build whatever you want in here. But I will say, my only thing that I don't like about it is just a little bit too dark. There could be a little bit of a green glow emitting from this to kind of illuminate the room just a little bit, but that is literally my only complaint about this vehicle. Just to show you an example of what I mean by the lighting, like this, for example, I set this with the Epic Structure Loader, and basically this is the precursor gun moonpool entrance light. And look how it just lights this whole room up. I mean, it might be just a bit overkill, a bit too bright, but if somehow this particular prefab could be attached to the interior of some of these, you know, some of these submersibles, for example, then wow, I mean, that would just really, really brighten it up. Or maybe there could be like a light switch where you turn it on and then it activates that prefab and connects it to this. I mean, I think that would be a really cool idea. Let's see how deep it can go. Okay, 600 meters. Let's see how it feels. Whoa, oh, okay, this thing is fast. Very smooth, very smooth. Okay, so wow, this is kind of a little hard to turn around, but that makes sense considering how long it is. But yeah, definitely, okay, so now the thing about the Mantis class is it can go down to 2,000, which is, in my opinion, a little bit too OP for a base starting vehicle, because that's just, you know, makes it a little too easy. But this one, starting off at 600, you can easily upgrade it to go deeper as you want, and you have plenty of room, plenty of view. I must admit, I mean, I think this is probably my new favorite. I mean, the only thing I will say is that if they add a little bit of the green underlay on the textures, so that way there's like a green glow behind this, and maybe, you know, make the glass, give it a little bit more textures, I think that would make it up to par with the Mantis class as far as the model appearance. But as far as functionality goes, this is probably the most useful submarine I've seen, and it's fast, it has plenty of room, and it's, wow, it looks really cool. But one random idea that I had was it would be nice if this Bayblade had some sort of, I don't know, like a Transformers style attachment where it could actually connect to this submarine, so that way you could take it with you. Like, wouldn't it be kind of neat if there was a docking animation where you would see the submarine here rotate vertically and then kind of like connect onto the side, and then you could actually carry 2 different submarines, one on this side, one on that side, connected to this. I mean, I think that would be kind of cool. So you've already seen the Bayblade submarine, but wait, there's more blades. Now this one is a slightly modified version of the Blade class submarine that was built by Blizzard, and in my opinion, the textures are a little bit more realistic on this one. I like the glass, and I do like how it looks more rough. However, unfortunately, this submarine is a bit buggy. I've experienced a lot of glitches going in and out, and this one is definitely an improvement. Now, it is a bit smaller. It's a scaled down version, and it's solid black. I mean, it's got the green glow and the jet black. I mean, you can't deny that it does look better. But let's get inside and see how we're going to compare the two, and we're going to see which one is actually a better submarine. Now, the interior looks really cool. Upgrades, 4 batteries. You've got your storage on both sides. I don't know what that is, but let's see. All right, so we've got 500 maximum depth on the base version without any upgrades. Now, on a lot of these submarines, I will say that it would be nice to see some control panel textures on the panel right here in the center, because a lot of them, they just have a solid green texture. They don't really have any kind of controls, buttons, or anything like that. So it would be kind of neat to see something like that updated with maybe some like alien precursor language as the numbers on there. So this one seems rather easy to control. It's very relatively easy. It's decent speed. But the main reason I'm going to recommend this one is because it simply does not have the bugs. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. This one, I don't know if it's a vehicle framework update that made it buggy or not, but...
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Okay, so
all systems online.
when I go all the way back here, I immediately am swimming. I don't know. Whoa, okay, okay. Oh, okay, well, we're gonna have to reset the game. Whoa. Well, I think you see what I mean when I said buggy. That, it's almost unplayable, sadly, and I don't know what is causing this, but it would be nice. You can download both versions, but it would be nice if this one could get an update so that way it's actually playable and you could choose between the two. Now for this next one, the SMA-17 Numi. Now I don't really have a whole lot to say about this, except for the fact that it is a way better version than the Eureka. Now, the Eureka, if you remember correctly, could only go down to 10 meters, and it was, you know, literally what it looks like. It's just an airplane. But this one can go down to 30 meters. This one, if you want to get around at a shallow exploration, if you want to get from one island to the next and you want to move around really quickly, then this is the way to do it. This will get you from one side of the map to the next very quickly and very easily. And if you, for example, downloaded the Silence and you want to get straight to the, you know, place in the void that you need to go to, this will get you there very quickly. It does have a spot for vehicle upgrades, so I guess technically we could upgrade this to go a lot deeper. Let's try it out. All right, so with the MK3, the crush depth is now 150 meters. So it may not be a lot. Sadly, that does not stack, but it may not be a lot, but if you aim to build this as your first vehicle, when you're first starting off your game, then this would be perfect for exploring shallower areas. And you are going to get across the map really quickly. So it would definitely make a really good starter vehicle. And finally, we have an awesome, huge Architect submarine in the works called the Prototype. This team consists of Indigo Coder, Demaz, and Octolink. There is no current release date, but it will come with its own backstory and will be designed to go along with any void-based mod such as Return of the Ancients. I will leave a link to their Discord and their YouTube channel in the comments. And that is all for now, guys. Peace out.